Welcome to the channel. Today we're doing a full brisket on the Traeger grill, and it's really easy to do. Stay with us. Alright, so we took the brisket out of the package. What we're going to do now is do a light trim. This is not a competition brisket, so we're not going to do too much, but we're going to take, see this really hard fat right here? No one wants that on the brisket, so we're going to take that off. We're going to take as much of the silver skin as we can, and we're going to, on the back side, the fat cap, we'll leave probably 1/4 inch of a fat. That'll certainly render during our cook, but we just want to get rid of this stuff that no one wants. Alright, so we're done trimming. All I did was put the brisket in an aluminum pan because now we're going to inject. Today we're using Kosmo's Injection Reserve Blend. This is really good stuff. It's really easy to mix. It's just follow the directions, but it's just a little bit of the mix and water. All we're going to do is inject this brisket about every inch or so. The grain on this brisket goes this way, so when we first inject, we're going to go across the grain, and then we'll flip it around and go with the grain, and that's just going to make sure it comes out even. So all we got to do is take some of the injection, and I always put my hand over it just so it doesn't go spraying all over the kitchen. All you're going to do is just pump up the brisket, and this is going to ensure that it stays moist and juicy throughout the cook. This will take a lot of injection, so pump it up. You'll feel it pump up as you go. Alright, so we'll finish this up and we'll show you what's next. Alright, we finished injection, and now we're going to just leave it in the pan and we'll rub it up from here. We're going to use 3 rubs today. We're going to use Kosmo's SPG as our first layer. I want to point out on the brisket we have 2 major muscles. We have the flat right here, and we have the point up here. The flat is where you take all your slices from, and you want to go across the grain, so you want to remember how the grain goes. And as you can see, it's going diagonally this way. And what I'll probably do is cut off a corner right here to remind me where my slices are going to come from. And then the point is where it's the juicy, fatty part of the brisket. It's everyone's favorite. It's where you make burnt ends, and we'll show you that step as well. So right now we're just going to get our rub on. We're going to start with a salt, pepper, garlic base. We usually do that on almost all of our cooks, but that gives us a good meaty taste as our first layer. And this meat can take a lot of rub, so I know it looks like a lot, but it's really not that much. Then we're going to go with Cow Cover Hot. This is from Kosmo's. This is a good pairing with the SPG and really goes good on any kind of beef. If you're doing those ribeyes at home, this is a really good combo. That will be our second layer. And then my last layer, I like this Poco Loco from Pendejos. It's a real coarse blend, and I like it on the outside of my brisket because we're going to get really good bark from this. And it's just pretty. Alright, so we'll flip her over and do the same on the other side. We don't need a binder because we injected and it's plenty moist, so no need for a binder on this one. And so we'll flip it over, we'll do the same on the other side, and we'll show you what's next. Cheers, everyone. Alright, so the brisket has been sitting here taking in the rub for about the last 20 minutes. And so we're ready to put it on the grill. Today we're going to go hot and fast. We kind of got a late start So we're gonna cook around 275 today. As soon as it gets to the color that we want, we're gonna wrap, and we're gonna use a mop. And we're gonna use Kosmo's brisket mop. This is really, really good stuff. We'll show you how that step will work, and it's gonna help us have a fantastic product. We're gonna take the brisket to 205. Every brisket's different, so that's what I'll say up front. But at 205, we'll start just to probe the meat to look for the tenderness that we want. It might need to take it up to 210, sometimes a little bit higher than that. But we won't know until we start to probe the brisket, and we'll show you what that looks like. So we'll get this out on the grill. All right, we're at about 155 degrees internally on our brisket. You can see by touching it, the rub is set, so we're good. The color looks really great where it's at right now, so I think we don't want it to take on any more smoke. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and wrap it, and then we're gonna use a mop, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so now we got it inside. What we're gonna do is we got a couple pieces of foil here, and we're gonna wrap it up. We are gonna use Kosmo's brisket competition brisket mop. So what we're gonna do is just get a little bit of a container boat looking action here, and then we're gonna drop our brisket mop. We just mixed it up with the instructions. You use about half a bottle and then 2 cans of beef consomme. And this stuff is really, really good with brisket. So we're just gonna pour some in both sides. This will make amazing au jus that we will use with our brisket. All right, so now that we got that, we're just gonna double wrap it up here. Wrap it up real tight so we don't lose any of our liquid. And we're gonna flip it this way, and that will make a really tight wrap. And we're gonna put it in a pan just in case. It'll just be easier to take off the grill at the end. All right, so we'll take this out to the pit. We'll put it back on the smoker. Again, we're gonna allow that to go to 205. Get the probe back in, just in the middle of the flat, and we're gonna allow it to go to 205. All right, so we hit 205 on our internal temp. So what we want to do now is we're going to use a probe just to go through the meat to see if it's tender. It should feel like you're sticking it into a jar of peanut butter, and it's really probe tender. So this is done. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it off the pit, and we're going to let it rest for at least an hour. Then we'll show you how we slice it up and we make burnt ends. Smells like $1,000,000. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate the flat from the point. So you're just gonna take a knife and go right down this fat line, and it comes off real easy. So now we're just gonna set our flat over here. We'll make some slices out of that. On our point is what we'll make our delicious burnt ends. So what we're gonna do is make about 1-inch size cubes. So you just make them good mouth size. Cut these up. Then we're gonna throw them in a pan with some barbecue sauce. We're gonna take them back out on the pit for maybe like 20 minutes. But we're just gonna let the sauce set. After that 20 minutes, they're gonna be just 100% perfection. All right, we're gonna cut some slices. Remember, you've gotta go across the grain on the flat. Make sure you got a good knife for this. It helps. As you can see, we got beautiful bark here. Got a nice smoke ring. It's moist and tender. Exactly what you want to see. So let's show you one of these. So that's the finger test. That's exactly what you want to see, where you see the bend completely across your finger. And then let's show you the pull test. Perfectly cooked, nice and pull tender, just absolutely gorgeous. Let's take a test. That's like $1 million. You get that beef taste. That bark with, you know, you get a little bit of heat, but it's just money in the bank. All right, for our burnt ends, we're just gonna put some sauce on these. This is just some sauce my wife made, which is really yummy. All right. We'll just get those coated in the sauce. They're just gonna go back out on the pit for about 20 minutes, just to allow us to set the sauce to these. And we'll show you what those look like at the end product. All right, we just wanna recap what we did here today. We started with a 15-pound prime brisket from Costco. We did a light trim. From there, we injected. We used Kosmo's Injective Reserve Blend. That stuff is really good stuff for those of you who are looking to do a brisket. Once we injected, we used 3 different kinds of rub today. We used Kosmo's SPG, Kosmo's Cow Cover Hot, and then a Dos Pendejos Poco Loco rub was our final rub. We got it on the pit. We did it hot and fast today. We were between 275 and 300 degrees. Once we hit about 160, we got the color that we wanted. So we wrapped and we used a mop. We used the Kosmo's Competition Brisket Mop. This stuff is dynamite. Once we got it all wrapped up, we took it to 205. When we hit 205, we wanted to make sure that it was nice and tender. So we probed it, and yeah, we took it off at 205 because we had the tenderness that we wanted. Came up here, made some burnt ends, sliced up some slices. We're gonna have some mashed potatoes and some green bean casserole. So it's good in the Frizzell house tonight. So hopefully you enjoyed our video. If you like what we're doing, subscribe and hit the like button. Make sure you're commenting. This one was actually one of our subscribers' requests. So we will put out any content that you guys want. We're still looking to do weekly videos, so support our channel. We appreciate it. See you next time.